What's up, children of the sun? This is your metaphysical advisor, Monterey Bible. And for this video, I wanted to go more into depth about soulless beings and the purpose of them. So, a lot of people want, typically, when I started talking about soulless beings, a lot of people take that as a negative connotation. And I do not want people to see people without souls as a negative thing. Nor do you feel like, oh, I'm better than you because I have a soul. You don't, especially if you recognize that this person is walking around soulless. This is not why I want you to do that. For those who have souls, I want you to take notice because soulless beings can drain energy, okay? And they can drain your energy. So you got to be cognizant of like who you give your energy to, basically, in a nutshell. And even if you interact with someone who's soulless, know how to manage it, because soulless beings have their own thing. Now, this is a purpose of them, because, like I said, we live in a world of opposites and polarity and duality. But in regards to the Mandela effect, and when I make videos about the Mandela effect, YouTube usually tries to target them. So I know we're talking about something good if YouTube is always marking these videos and demonetizing and just putting strikes on them for weird reasons. But in regards to the Mandela effect, and I've made several videos about that and why you shouldn't try to convince people of the Mandela effect, because they're not ready for it. They're not ready to get out of the matrix. People who do not have souls will not see the Mandela effect. Straight up. Because in order to move across dimensions, you have to have a soul. Because you are traveling consciously. You don't travel through your body. You travel through your consciousness. And your consciousness is the soul. Okay? Now, the purpose of soulless beings is because they're empty vessels. I'm going to try to put this in layman's terms, because it's a lot, and I wanted to tell you guys, but it's really kind of difficult to explain. In the multiverse, there exists many versions of you, okay? So, like, I'm here in this reality, but there are infinite amounts of universes, and there's infinite amounts of me, okay? But, and I did a reading about this too. I did a reading about the Mandela effect on my own. Your soul only exists in one reality at a time. So what's going on with the other me's that are in the other realities? They're actually soulless beings. They're avatars, okay? So they're just going through the motions. So while my soul is conscious in this reality, I'm not conscious of the other me's in the other reality, nor do they have a soul to be conscious. Okay? You get what I'm saying here? So you have an infinite amount of empty vessels that exist in different realities. Okay? And for the people that they interact with, they have no soul. Now, having no soul doesn't mean that they are necessarily going to do something negative. They have the potential to do a lot of negative things because they don't have a soul to control them. So take, for example, any video game you play. Okay, if you're playing a video game, you are the soul of that video game, or your character. If you don't put the game on pause and you set your joystick down and you just sit it still, most of the time, on most games now, if you let it sit idle long enough, your character will start doing things on its own. It may not move forward, but it'll start doing little things on its own. It may scratch its head. It may look around. It may start doing little things, you know. That's kind of like how your avatars or your many yous in the different multiverse are doing. They're working on autopilot. And a lot of these soulless beings that you see walking around you are working on autopilot. So even with the video games, when you're playing a video game and you see characters in the video game, they're working on autopilot. They have a program that they are specifically doing, and they don't really break out of that routine until you interact with them. So let's say, for instance, you have a soul, and you're consciously moving through time. You're jumping. You're moving to reality. You're creating your reality. You see somebody you like, and you interact with them. You break them out of their routine. They happen to be a soulless being. You didn't know it before, but they were doing their routine. They do something that they do all the time. They are a program. They're working through their routine. You stop them, and they interact with you. And you don't realize that you just broke them out of a routine that they normally do. So they begin to interact with you. The more you interact with them, the more you add your soul to them. Thus, they start becoming conscious of what they're doing. They start to interact differently, but they become more of your character that you're playing. So now you're playing almost two characters. You get what I'm saying? Because they have a part of your soul. So now they're interacting based upon what you do. But they're not doing anything individually creative on their own, because their soul is in some other dimension. Their soul is interacting on some other dimensional level that you're not even in yet. So once you two align, once your two souls align, then you'll start seeing them do things on their own. You start seeing them start doing things like, oh wow, I didn't know this about you. Like, where did this come from? Because they have to align in the same reality. Two souls have to align in the same reality in order for you to see them actually not be a soulless being, not be a part of the game. You know, so right now you're just working with their avatar. You're just seeing avatars right now, and then all of a sudden they change up. They change up. You know what I mean? So this is what I mean about the Mandela effect. Because with the Mandela effect, is two realities coming in and blending together. So let's say for instance, you have an avatar in some other reality that has this great paying job, which you don't have yet. You're trying to manifest this reality. You're trying to get on the same vibration of this reality so you can have this job. You already have the job. Your avatar, your being, one of you in another universe, multi-dimensional universe, it already has this job. It's going through the motions. You're trying to align yourself with the vibration to get on that reality. Once you do that, you do this reality jump that seems seamless. Like it just seems seamless. Hopefully. Hopefully you just don't wake up and you have a new job and you didn't realize you had a new job and you were like, but the way time works, time and space works, it tries to create events so that you can go into the new reality seamlessly without waking up the next morning and your whole life is changed and you don't know what happened. You have a new job and you know new people and everything is happening, but you don't know who these new people are. You know, that's what happens when we have reality shifts, like the Mandela effect. Time has just changed and you didn't realize from point A to point B what happened because time is fluid. But because we live in a 3D, time-space tries to create events that consciously make sense to us so that when we do a reality shift, it makes sense. You see that you went through the process of a job interview. You just don't try to manifest a job and then you wake up the next day and you have a new job, okay? So this is what's happening. You're aligning yourself with that reality. And while you do that, your soul is jumping into different avatars of yourself in these different realities. Okay? And once you do that, you become conscious of that job. Now that you have taken over that avatar, and the history of that avatar, whatever that avatar has done in the past, no longer matters because now everything that you've done, just like the Mandela effect, reality A and reality B intertwine and become one. And nobody sees the difference. Except for maybe a couple of people, but this is what's going on with the Mandela effect. We're starting to see the differences. We're starting to see the changes. We're not supposed to. But only the people with souls can see it, and only people with souls can reality shift. People without souls cannot. So when you try to present these realities to them, or these different realities, they've been existing in the same reality their entire existence. They're going to fight you. They're going to fight you about it. I've been wanting to tell y'all that for a long time, but I don't know if it's going to be clear or if I was clear with it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I know it's pretty heavy. It's pretty deep. I'm just going to give y'all some references, though. Check out Sue Larson. I think she's on YouTube. She's on YouTube. She has a blog. She's got a great blog. She talks about reality jumping, or reality shifting a lot. And a great movie to watch about reality shifting is DOA. My friend just presented it. He told me to check it out on Netflix. Mister! Sorry, my dog. DOA on Netflix. Check that movie. Not a movie. It's a TV show on Netflix. If you haven't, and it's all about reality shifting. And if you think, it's a very deep subject, but the soul is the one that jumps from reality. It's the soul that time travels. That's it. But the body, the avatars, they just sit still and they go. They're still existing in the multiverse. They just don't have the souls with them at all times until you start occupying them. So sometimes we are interacting with soulless beings. That's what I mean. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a soulless mantra in another reality until I align myself with that mantra and I take over. You know? The thing is, soulless beings can do whatever they want to do. Or anybody can do anything to that soulless being because they don't care. They're programs. Okay? Alright, guys. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment below. Make your reality happen. Shift into the reality you want to. Because if you don't do, who will?